shine forth. Whenever you tell somebody you love them, it's always going to be proven by fire. Huh? Whenever you tell somebody you love them, it's always going to be proven by fire. Meaning your love going to be tried. It's going to be tried by the fire. Oh, people get to the altar, baby, I love you. And they kiss one another, and they say all these vows. But when they get in that marriage, when the fire comes, here come hell. Whoa, that Christian. That Christian, you know what I'm saying? That Christian about talking about Jesus all day long on Sunday. When adversity comes, they forget about the Lord then. I'm not going to deal with this. Ain't nobody going to treat me like this. No, I'm not going to go through this kind of stuff. I'm like, what did God go through for you? What did he go through for you? That man say, well, if a woman act like this, I need somebody else. But the Lord was faithful to you. He was faithful to us. Just as well he was to them. And when the fire comes, that's when most people give up. They give up. But you done told me you love me. Now, when the fire coming, you're backing up from it. It amazes me so many times now how so many people tell somebody they love them. And then sometimes you see them still with that person. And even though they're in a house with them, they already done left them. Yeah. You got a lot of people that still together with somebody that already have left them in spirit. They ain't right in the same bed with them, but they ain't got no love for them. And don't want to be with them. If God could just do anything for me, get me up out of this situation. And that's something. Because while you sitting there judging that person, you stopping God from loving through you. I look at God, how his love is. And I watch us. We can sit and stay in that position with that person long as the problem don't get too big. Even though we still done left them. What is a left position in a house? It's when you don't think about me the way you think about yourself. It's when I go out and do something for myself and I don't think about my wife while I'm doing for myself. I can pay the bills all day long. That's easy. That's normal. But when it comes down to loving her, do I care about where her soul is versus where my soul is? Will I walk away from her when she don't have nobody to turn to? That's a bunch of people right in the church that does that. And they say, well, I'm still loving. You're not loving nobody. You just there. Because your mind is made up. As long as you do what I want you to do, we fine. But the moment you don't do what I want you to do and what I expect out of you, then I don't want to deal with it. When you love somebody, you sit and tell them your heart. It might take you years to get there and tell them, you'll still stay there and be able to tell them your heart. If I don't like the way you treat me, I'll tell you I don't like the way you treat me. But if you tell me you don't like the way I treat you, then I'll try to treat you the way you want me to. There lies the problem. Like I said from the get-go, you always can find fault with other people, but you don't find your own fault. Why is it like that? When you care about how much God loves you, why is it you can't love nobody else? And God's saying, why did you tell them you love them and then leave them tomorrow? Why? I wish I could get it to. He said love is undefiled in his bed. Why? Because he covers you. And I say, how many of us go into bed and leave God outside the bed? He made it. Why could be unclean? About a God that made you when you become naked. The problem is some of us never been naked. Oh, some of us never revealed the real truth about who we were. You sold fig leaves around yourself. And you expect me to be able to see through your life. And everything I try to do to please you, to show you love, you push me away. And I can't love you. There's something when a God can't love the same children that he created. Because you sold things around yourself to cover you up from the mess that you got in you. You can say all day long, but the devil did it to me. You ate it, you bit. You did not eat what he said. And the man said, the woman that you gave me, she the one made me. How? She didn't make him do nothing. And the problem was she cared more about him. He cared more about her than he did God. But now, here God dealing with her through Jesus. And Jesus is now saying he getting ready to go away. You watch Jesus, how he deal with it. He talking to the people. Many people are following him. He tell them at one point, he said, oh, you follow me because you love me. You follow me because of the miracles you seen me do. You had the question that be asked, why do you be with somebody? Are you with them because you love them or what they do for you? Oh, yeah, I know a lot of don't want to tell the truth, but a lot of our relationships, they start off because of the love. But it started off because of what you could do for each other. Oh, that worldly phrase, well, if you got a good job and I got a good job, we compatible. But what that got to do with love? You know what people tell you? They train you in the church. You don't need somebody that don't have a successful career like you do. You got a 4-year degree. You got to find somebody else that got a 4-year degree. And then y'all work together and talk and date for a year, 2 or 3 years, and then get married. But what that got to do with love? When love comes. Because adversity going to come when you open your mouth and say you love somebody. Trouble going to come. That love going to be put on fire. And you're going to see how much you love somebody. Yeah. Oh, shoot, I think I'm getting back out of this, man. I ain't been in it 6 months and ready to leave. You stay there another 2 years, but you were gone 6 months into it. He ain't what I thought you would be. I ain't got time. He can't tell me what I'm going to do. And you know what I'm saying? She said, look at her. She don't even dress right. She act right. And why you like this? You faking the rest of the time instead of being real with somebody. Because if you say you love them, you got to find a way to love somebody. Even though they're not really what you hope they will be. Love is work. But love for us is faith. We got to follow God to know how to love anybody, because you can't love nobody unless you know God, unless you follow Christ. That's how we learn to love. I know love is not always right. And when I found out, when I got in love, I found most stuff that was bad about me than I have anybody else. Even right now to this very day, I find my struggles versus somebody else's struggles. When you love somebody, you'll fight for them. Jesus loved us so much, he fought for us. He went through all the hell he went through for us. And he wouldn't walk away. We'll walk away from anything. You ain't coming in my house trying to tell me what to do. I'm grown. Everybody know you're grown. You ain't got to tell another person that grown you grown. What are you talking about? I'm saying to you, what you're doing don't make sense in here. How can you be married and still be yourself? Come on. Woo! Huh? When you got married, you lost your name. I'm wrong, I'm right or wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But I thought when you get married, you lose your name. I'm talking to y'all women right now. Well, I took care of my babies until you got here. So what? I'm here now. Now they're my babies. You ain't got more say so to my children I do, then why am I here? Blood is thicker than water. Thought we were blood. We supposed to be one body, right? Two become one. Why is it now that you telling me about I love my children for you? What you mean? I love you and I can't get a chance to love your children because you got over top of them. Is that love? That's not love. Because we supposed to be one. And when I say when I was on the other side, I made mistakes. I did things wrong. But God forgave me. Why you still judge me? If you got a husband, you know what I'm saying, you God done forgave you, you came under the blood, why the husband still holding you accountable for everything you did on the other side? That's not right. God wants us to come together. He wants to come together in love, because when love can't nobody defeat you. Jesus told them, he said, there's going to come a time when you're going to have to eat my body and drink my blood. And when he said that to all those who were following him, they looked and said, holy, what kind of saying is that? Who can receive that saying there? What are you talking about? We're going to have to eat his body and drink his blood. What kind of stuff he on? It wasn't that they couldn't receive it. It was that they didn't want to receive it. Because like I said, what you want, you'll take. But what you don't want, you won't receive it. Whatever you're in love doing, whatever you say you love somebody, when you're in love, whatever you want, you will receive it. Because it makes you feel good. But what you don't want, you won't commit to it. And they said, I will not commit to you now. You talking crazy. You are like everybody going to need you. And you the only way that we're going to make it. And when they said it, and when they thought that in their mind, the Lord said to them, he said, what is it you're pondering in your mind? He said, you know, that what I said to you a few minutes ago, he said, do they offend you? And what would you say if you see me ascending up into heaven? What would you say then? Or it's too late then, right? Because now you see it with your eyes now. That's the only reason you want to believe then. What you want to say then? Oh, then you want to say, oh, Lord, I eat your body now. Because the only thing that makes you change is when you see something with your own eyes. Right. But we have been called to live by faith and not by sight. They were called to walk with him by faith and not by sight. But yet they won't understand how they're going to need him to get to God. But he said to them, but the spirit quickening the flesh. I mean, the spirit come out, bring the flesh back alive. And the words I speak unto you are spirit, and they are life. I am the one that's going to make you come alive. Even though you're in these bodies, you're dead without me. But I make it come alive when you receive my words. Here's some of y'all believe not. He knew who didn't believe in him, and he knew who were following him that won't his. He know who following him at all times that not his. But he asked a question. He said, now, they are not committed to me. But are you submissive to me? Because when you have commitment to something, you become submissive to something. And the only reason you can say what I won't do because you're not submissive to nobody. Oh yeah. You can say you love Jesus all day long. But when you have not come submissive to his will, to the will of God, you'll walk away from him at any time. Because when you care more about something else, which is your flesh, than you do the Spirit of God, you'll walk away when trouble comes toward you because you don't want to go through something. As long as God is making everything good in your life, you're fine. It's when God put you through in adversity and allow the devil to come at you. That's all of a sudden now you want to push God back because you're saying to God, you don't know what you're doing. God, you don't know why you allowing this to come at me. I've done everything right. Well, when did you take yourself and say when you did everything right? When did you do everything? And why God should allow you to be tried? Because if you don't be tried, how can you help somebody else? And God never allowed you to go through nothing. And the problem is when love is at war, we give up. We say we still love, but we don't really love. Because love will fight for love. Huh? Love will fight for love. God got an army in heaven fight for love all the time. In the spirit realm where you don't see. Love will fight for love. Love won't walk away from me when I need it. Love will come back to me and try to fight for me. When you find yourself easy to walk away from somebody, your love ain't been made perfected. Because there's still a problem inside of you. And I'm saying, Jesus said, they walked away from me today. How can you say you love me yesterday and then walk away from me tomorrow? I don't know what's going on in your tomorrow, but I know whatever going on in your tomorrow is not better than Jesus. I don't care what it is. And the Lord asking so many people, now how can you say you love me today and then walk away from me tomorrow? How? I never walked away from you. I never told you I love you and walked away from you. Then how can you tell me you love me today and then walk away from me tomorrow? What is it in your tomorrow that's worth you walking away from God for? What is it? What could it truly be that's worth you walking away from the Lord for? Who is it? Who is it that's worth you walking away from the Lord? But they still, the Bible says, many of his disciples left him that day and never walked with him again. Isn't that something? I didn't do nothing wrong to you for you to turn your back on me. Y'all didn't catch that. God said, I never did nothing wrong to you for you to walk away from me. God said, from the moment I made you, I never did nothing wrong for you to walk away from me. Through his son. Because Jesus was Emmanuel, God with us. He said, why are y'all walking away? I haven't did anything wrong to you. It's something when somebody do something wrong to you. I can understand people trying to get away. But when somebody ain't did nothing wrong to you, why would you come to him and then walk away? And he looked back at us. And he said, will ye also leave? He looked back at his disciples. Am I right? The Bible says he looked back at his disciples. Somebody say his. He looked back at his. He said, I know the mother one. Just because you'll follow me, you won't mind. Because my father will have to bring you to me in order for me to be you to be mine. He said, I know you won't mind. I just said that while ago so you could know that you ain't mine. But he looked back at his and said, will ye also leave me? And what God's saying to the church right now in this hour, he said, a lot of them in the house that's not mine. He said, but will you also leave me? Is there anything going on in your life that is more important to you than I am? Will you leave me like they leave me? I know you mine. So tell me, is there anything that you want more than me?